Is the surging oil price just the beginning? Is the savings in your bank account enough for you to do nothing and still survive for at least 3 months? Do you have enough gas in your car to last until next week? If gas prices triple next month, will you still be able to drive your car? Is there an item in your closet that you've thought about for a long time but couldn't bear to buy? And if its price doubles next month, will you regret not ordering it today? Should you even reconsider whether your current job is truly stable? What if the company can't hold on? Do you have a plan B? Hearing this, some might think I'm crazy, thinking it's just a fight between the US and Iran, and since Iran is thousands of miles away, is there a need to worry so much? I'm telling you, it's not an exaggeration. It is absolutely necessary. Think about how the Great Depression of 1929 happened: a tariff war, a hot war, and an oil crisis. Just gather these 3 things together, and you can summon a disaster that sweeps across everyone. Lacking even one won't work. Let's count. Haven't these 3 things gathered in the blink of an eye? The tariff war has been fought for 2 years. The US military has just directly engaged in war, and as for the oil crisis, 1/5 of the global oil supply currently cannot be exported. So, is this war really just countries fighting for a bit and then ending like a small conflict? Let's look back and see who the ultimate winner is at this point. When the pandemic just started in 2020, the whole world was in a panic. Planes were grounded, factories were shut down, and there was so much oil that no one needed it. At that very moment, someone quietly started buying stocks of oil companies. For years, the whole world laughed at him, saying he was old, didn't understand tech stocks, and only knew how to buy outdated things. Then the pandemic ended, the economy recovered, and what did this person do? He sold all the profitable stocks in his hands, like Apple or bank stocks. In April of last year, when the stock and bond markets had the whole world following the buying trend, he didn't move at all, holding a massive amount of cash along with those oil stocks. How many people laughed at him then? And even a week ago, countless people were saying the investment god Buffett was old, crazy, and had missed the opportunity. But what about now? The US military has directly engaged, the Strait of Hormuz is blockaded, and oil prices are skyrocketing like they're riding a rocket. Now tell me, who is the real winner? Therefore, a great economic depression. Do you think it's a bad thing? For ordinary people, it truly is a sky-falling disaster. But for the politicians who wrote the script in advance, and for the capitalists who knew the script beforehand, this is a rare money-picking opportunity of a century. Oil is the blood of industry, but this blood is being drained by the war, so everything relying on it must die. Every meal we eat, every piece of clothing we wear, every food delivery we order, all inherently rely on oil. So this is no longer just news about the Middle East erupting in war again, but a war that is slowly turning the money in your hands into waste paper. Currently, the war has directly escalated, and the US military has personally engaged. Thus, this is no longer simply an oil crisis, but a war driven by AI. You heard that right? This time, the US is attacking Iran not only for oil, but also to find a lifeline for those AI companies that are about to run out of money to burn. The US AI industry can no longer hold on. Companies like OpenAI burn trillions of dollars every year to buy chips, build data centers, and recruit talent, but their profit is merely a fraction of that. This product cannot be sold. There are no customers, and no one is willing to pay for it. So what to do? War. When war breaks out, the most generous customer is the state. The state doesn't calculate costs because war is something you cannot lose. AI is already being used in war now, deciding who lives and who dies. Once AI can prove its value on the battlefield, accurately identify targets, and make decisions 10 times faster than humans, other countries will also want to buy this technology. This is exactly what happened in 2003 when the Iraq War broke out. Back then, the war gave the internet a second life. History is preparing to repeat itself. Everyone needs a war to extend their lifespan. This war is like one arrow hitting 4 targets. First, AI originally couldn't find customers, but when military orders appear, AI companies will have money. Next, the military-industrial complex, the arms dealers, won't they make a fortune? Second, cutting interest rates also has an excuse. Fight a beautiful battle, win quickly, and then tell the world that the situation is stable, so we can cut rates. Third, is keeping money within the country. If the Middle East is chaotic due to war, Asia lacks oil and Europe lacks natural gas isn't the safest place in the world. Still, the United States, fourth, is controlling the Middle East. If they quickly deal with Iran, they can control Middle Eastern oil, and by then, who would dare not use the US dollar? Do you know how important the Strait of Hormuz is? The entire Persian Gulf is like a big belly filled with countries that live on selling oil, and the oil they extract only has one exit to be sold outside, which is the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is squeezing the energy throat of the whole world. If Iran blockades this strait, more than 20% of the world's oil supply will be cut off. Sure enough, Iran has turned this strait into a death zone, which is why oil prices jumped 21% in just a few days. Even if all ships ran at full capacity through backup routes, they could only transport about 6.5 million barrels of oil out each day, whereas the Strait of Hormuz normally transports about 20 million barrels. This is like the water pipe in your house being cut, and the whole building with hundreds of households having to go downstairs and line up with buckets to fetch water. That meager amount of water is fundamentally not enough. Therefore, when this strait is blockaded, the stock markets of the entire Asian region fall the hardest, because most of this oil was originally shipped to Asia. On the surface, it's a fight between the US and Iran, but in reality, the places suffering the greatest impact are Asia and Europe. Today, if you want to buy oil, no matter who you buy from, they only accept US dollars. All over the world, if you don't have US dollars, you won't be able to buy oil, and without oil, your factories cannot operate. Therefore, before the war broke out, countless people in many countries sold the gold in their hands and exchanged it for US dollars. Gold prices plummeted by 21% in just 2 days, while the US dollar surged by 4%. In that process, places outside of America will have to experience stagflation. Simply put, the economy stops growing, everyone has no money, but inflation still occurs. What is the ultimate solution? The only way is for the whole world to print money together. You print money, I print money, and the result is everyone's currency depreciates together, purchasing power changes, and the money in your hands buys fewer things than before. Previously, borrowing $1 million from you could buy a car. Now, returning $1 million only buys a wheel of that car. This is exactly how inflation is used to dissolve debt. Therefore, behind this war is actually a game of global wealth redistribution. Many countries have reserves, but the state can only guarantee that supermarkets have rice, not that the price of rice won't change. So, who will guarantee that your living standard won't drop? Who will guarantee your job won't change? Who can guarantee you'll still be able to afford your mortgage? No one. You can only rely on yourself. Everyone. The more chaotic times get, the less you should invest blindly. If you don't want to miss out, I still urge you to subscribe to my channel, then hit the notification bell and share this video widely. I sincerely wish the brothers and sisters who like this video early financial freedom. If you find just 1 or 2 useful sentences in what I said today that can make your life a little better, then I am satisfied.